I wish we had the Jeopardy music. All right, let's see if it's gonna take a few. Let's see. You checking it, Dustin?
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
We're live on mine. Let's see if we're live on Red Hill. Why would Red Hill not pop up?
I see you're live. Yep.
Yeah, it says live on my end.
We're live.
Let's see if it's on Red Hill. There we go. All right.
Look at there.
All right. Well, here we are. We're back with another episode, trying to make up for our slacking over the last few weeks. And as promised, we delivered. Thank you to that man right there. Obviously, we got two-time defending NHRA Pro Stock motorcycle world champion in the house tonight, gracing us with his presence. He's out working. He's in a hotel, taking time to hang out with us tonight. So, anyways, we appreciate Gaige getting on here with us. See some comments flowing in already. Already got 23 people watching. Y'all know who we are. We got to shout out our sponsors, of course, real quick. We've got University of Wynn, BMF Motorsports. Gaige knows that guy a little bit. We got Max ECU and Steve Nichols. I think it's his birthday. Happy birthday, Steve.
Happy birthday.
We got Montgomery Motorsports. We got MPS Racing. We got Penske Racing Shocks, Hard Times Parts and Service, DME Racing, Schnitz Racing, Brock's Performance, MTC Engineering, clutch giveaway tonight, by the way. BST Wheels, Monster Race Products, Ralphie and Platinum General Services, and last but not least, Worldwide Bearings, who I'm repping tonight, Mr. Kim 40. All right. What's happening, Gaige? How are you?
Nah, not much, man. Just out here working like everyone else, trying to make a dollar. But it's off season now, trying to enjoy it, getting 2 championships and winning had a nice Thanksgiving up in Vail, Colorado. But I flew home Monday morning and then got in my van and drove 10 hours to Maryland. So here I am.
Just so y'all know,
at least you drove to Maryland one time this year.
Yeah, right.
There's
he'd be flying during race season.
Yeah. My dad finally got a break.
Yeah, Pop said, "Have you there, man? Come on."
Uncle Terry didn't fly you, man. That's look. Even Hollywood Herrera has a regular JOB, as Friday would say. Let's hit some comments. We got our boy Mr. Sean Henson. First comment, you dang right. We got Mike Hansen. What's up, fellas? We got Damien, the champ. He says, "Can you see these, by the way, Gaige?"
No.
On the right side, if you click on comments beside the private chat, it'll pull it up. The right top.
The right top?
Yeah, on my end, it shows it on the right top. It's got like private chat and then comments. If you click on comments, it'll pull up the comments.
We got Mark Dotson saying the champ. We got Exoticycle. That's Sean. He's doubled up.
Yeah.
We forgot, by the way. We forgot the
Larry McBride,
motorcycle world champion of NHRA. Larry's on here to listen to the Gaige. What's up, Larry? We missed you, brother.
Got a couple of 24 champs.
Yeah. Then we got the ET Gangster. Damien said, "Shout out Fuel Tech." Of course, that's for Dustin. Dustin choking. GS in the house, Hook and Book. What else? We got the Shock Wizard. We got Bits Racing. We got Johnny Lightning, Mr. Tisdale here. That's awesome. He said to the top. We got JC Hello Hawaii in the house. Sweet. Sean Hopkins and Sonny Vic. All right, that's it for right now. Let's get into it right away. What was your outlook after that insane first season? Like what did you even set goals for this year? I mean, you probably told us in the interview earlier this year, but I can't remember.
I would say my main goal is to make sure the first season wasn't a fluke.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I wanted to hear. Repeat that shit.
Yeah, that's the main thing. I'm trying to catch up to Dustin, but
got a long way to go, brother.
I mean, the first season was just like I wouldn't say it was easy. It was just like it came so quick.
Like surreal, right?
Real. Yeah. So the second season means a lot more to me. I felt like competition, everything was a lot closer. I mean, we all knew Matt going back to the Buell was going to make stuff a lot tighter. So for me to get the second championship means a lot more than the first one for sure.
Yeah, I mean it definitely backed up that quote unquote rookie season. I still call that your rookie season per se. But yeah, I mean, coming out and obviously getting it done, not only for yourself but for the team. I mean, yeah, I kind of knew what the thought process was going in, but still wanted to know if you had any goals set up there. And obviously, throughout the season, y'all were dealt some different cards and all. So maybe tell us a little bit about that and how the fuel change. I know you guys spent a lot of time and effort trying to make that work, but me and Dustin talked the last few episodes and trying to stay on track with the NHRA stuff. We've
Mhm.
obviously it's our opinion, but we felt like, and you could argue that we're biased because we're friends with you, but we've had Matt and Angie on and Eddie and Andrew, and we try to be unbiased when we talk about stuff. But that being said, I thought the parity was there personally, at least after the fuel change for sure. I mean, y'all struggled here and there, and really, to me, it was kind of a toss up between you and Matt most of the year. But we talk. You have Hector Jr. and Steve Johnson, Gianna, John. I mean, there's so many people that were mixing it up with y'all. I mean, how do you think everything panned out?
I mean, I think it panned out pretty good. I mean, basically, when I first started riding for Vance Irons, we weighed 625, and now we weigh 660 pounds.
Okay.
It's just
35 pounds.
Yeah, and then I think the Buells are up to 635 now, I believe, or 645. I don't pay attention to it really, but I feel like this whole season the parity was way better than it was. I would say the season before, or maybe the parity was the same then. It's just people didn't work on the program as much as they did this season. I think with me joining Vance Hines and me and Andrew bonding like we did, and me giving the feedback, really made every other team basically go out there and figure out what they were missing. I mean, it's just one of those things. I feel all the teams were the same for so long, and then I came out there with Andrew and we showed them something that they haven't seen in a long time. It was just one of those things that made them all step up.
I mean, I feel like that's a good comparison too to what a lot of us and a lot of the listeners are used to. I'd say probably like XDA Pro Street. Rodney's kind of had a stranglehold on it for a while, but in the same response, DME with Jason and Mark, they've stepped up and now they're in the mix every time. And our boy Justin Shaker for the big guys. I mean, he's always in the mix to get it done. Obviously, I got my loyalty to my DOS boys and Eric and Tony and that whole crew. I mean, they got that blower bikes flying when everything works. So, I feel like if you don't have somebody setting, a performance standard, you're not having people and teams chase it, right? So, I mean, what you said makes sense. I mean, obviously, Matt knew that they had a lot of work to do for this year. And, we know he's trying to get that 7th championship as well. So, a lot on the line there.
No, absolutely. I mean, you bring up Pro Street. I mean, I run a nitrous bike against turbos and blowers, beating my head against the wall.
Yeah.
So it's like I understand it totally. I'm very competitive in that aspect, and so I've been on both sides of it now. That I've running pro stock. So it's not a different type of drive. It's just like you always want to do the best. You always want to win. But I feel like if you don't have someone out there kind of dominating like Rodney, you don't try new things. You don't push new things. You don't look outside the box. I mean,
right.
That's one thing. Like, so before I even started racing pro cycle motorcycle, my dad always said it's a small circle. They all do the same thing. They all go round and round. They all do whatever the guy next door is doing. They don't think outside the box type of thing. And I kind of seen that first starting with Gary, but then I went with Andrew, and he's doing all his different stuff, and then we're going out there going 102s and setting the new national record, doing all this different stuff. It makes people venture out. I mean, Matt got away from the Morelli and the standard lockup clutch that was, I think, from 1800 or whatever.
1990s at least, right?
Yeah, right. And got to a Gen 2. I mean, it's just the whole class has moved forward a lot with technology. You know,
Y'all kind of
Yeah.
just grabbed
you've
them by
seen
the
it.
cheeks and shook them like, hey, look what we can do. You know what I mean? Like, that's
Yeah.
what happened.
I mean,
But,
you got
I
a
mean,
good point there, and
yeah.
I mean, I kind of forgot about that, but that did kind of surprise me early on in the year, and it might have been right. I think that was probably pretty close to when we had Matt and Angie on, wasn't it, Dustin? And to
Yeah.
know that he was still running the
Mhm.
Morelli and that old, I mean, that the lockup clutch blew my mind.
Matt
to
actually
even
told me
hear
on one
that.
of the lives to come tune it, but it was like the day
Yeah.
before they go race test. I'm like, I can't beat. I need like a few days heads up. And I've told everybody I would like to play with those things. I like learning.
You know, I feel like, and you can really comment on this, Gaige, too, but you know, you talking about like the small circle and everybody doing the same. Man, if there's one class that you're familiar with that I feel like that's no truer statement, I feel like it's got to be Grudge, man. I feel like when there's one thing with Grudge, it goes off like wildfire, whether it's the
chromoly frame. I mean, it just doesn't matter.
That the remote starts, whatever it is, it's
Inconel
like,
pipes.
yeah, yeah.
You either got to stay ahead or get left behind, so everybody just chases it.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, I mean, I think like BJ, for instance, Humphrey, he tunes like 30 of them out there now. You know, it's just like everyone's got the same thing out there. So, you know, it's like I said, small
different.
circle.
Yeah.
And you know, that's probably something a lot of people kind of forgot about or forget about too. I mean, my bad, I didn't mention you, but you know, you're on the complete opposite of the spectrum when it comes to your Pro Street program. You know, you are fighting the big dogs. I mean, what do they probably make now? 800 horsepower, 900 horsepower turbo bike.
This year was probably made you have like flashbacks from Pro Street because you were waiting on a V twin to drive around you just like a turbo bike in Pro Street. Shit. Like it was like relapse of what what you're used to, like leave and run. That's what you were doing.
You ain't lying. I mean, that was like the final round in Pomona against Matt. I got to the end. I said, "Man, your bike was way too loud." I knew you were right there.
Yeah.
Can you hear it?
I knew I didn't have a chance.
And you had the best mile per hour of the weekend for you. I was like, they was pushing it. They was like, we might blow it up. That's what I thought when I seen that mile per hour. Was like Andrew went whoop.
That's all she got.
Yeah. For sure.
But yeah, I mean, it's been fun, I mean, especially with Matt. I mean, it's it seems like a lot of hate in between all of us, between Vance Hines and Matt. And I mean, there might be a little blood there, but it's all fun.
It's testosterone.
It is.
Everybody's wanting to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's all it is. I mean, it's racing. I mean, we don't be racing. We don't want to win. I mean,
I mean, look, I missed out on a few events, but also went to a few this year. And Dustin went to Bristol, and I mean, when we're there in the pits, it's
great, man.
It's not like y'all are driving by on scooters doing this or something. Like, I mean, now there's some other people that want to make people think that's the case, but like you said, I mean, ultimately we're all racers, and it's going back to the Pro Street thing. I think about Rodney and Dunnigan and them, and they're always just talking positively about each other. And
Jason's kids at Rodney's trailer half the weekend.
Hell, half the time they're probably wearing each other's shirts. They don't even know who they're cheering on.
I was just gonna say that.
yeah.
But like you said, I think that's a good thing. Is that for the most part, everybody's putting in that time and effort and money to get things done. Real quick, we'll catch up on some comments. We got Mike Beeland in here. What's up, brother? How are you, man? Did y'all see that that last unboxing Mike did?
No.
Have y'all seen his videos where he does
like the
box of the day?
The box of the week or whatever.
Somebody fucking spray foamed and a crankshaft in a cooler, bro. Like, I'm talking about the great stuff foam. That shit, that's what we use in communications and all.
Well,
that.
If the crank was in a trash bag, it'd have been a great idea. But if
it was
just sitting
they still had to cut it out. He said, I don't know what the outcome was. That
it ain't going nowhere.
I love those. Keep doing those. And then we got of course we got the Rogers sending love from Windrock Park. Appreciate that. We got Dustin's brother Corey Lee. We got Mr. Curry in the house always. What's happening? We got Dwayne saying what's up, champ. Derek Duncan, congratulations, Gaige. For now, Mr. Greer says Dust Williams. All right. I'm not sure I know who Dust Williams is, but cool. We got Michelle looking good. Thanks for the live chat. She must be talking about Gaige looking good. I look like I crawled out of a cave. Look at that. We got the flyest guy in, I don't know, man. He's got probably the most swag in motorcycle drag racing right now. I'd say Malcolm Phillips.
Phillips.
He said, look at my hero superstar, Mr. 103 in here. What it do, people?
He did have a 103. I mean,
yeah.
He was the quickest, I think, of the weekend of the 60 foot. So
and he was the quickest two valve of the weekend too.
Yeah.
There we go. And we
there's some potential
Leonard
floating around. Maybe somebody needs to get out of their circle and try somebody new. You never know.
Greer said he was trying to tag him. I got you. Then we got Leonard saying too cold to ride. Yep. Paul Phillips saying congrats. Mr. Beelan said it shrinks after it's cold off the guy. What's it? It shrinks after it's cold.
Said the spray foam must shrink after it gets cold or something.
Oh, yeah, that's that thing.
I know a lot of things that shrink when it's cold. Just saying.
Braden Davis, congratulations on another great season. We got Brockman Roberts, I miss Gaige, and the Sand Trap crew in Fontana. So happy for your success. Have you figured out how to look at these?
Yeah, I got it now.
Okay, all right. We're also talking.
I had to get off the full screen. I figured it out.
And then just FYI, we're kind of shouting them out too for the replay when people are just listening. And Paul said, he had Richard for Rookie of the Year. Hey,
we all did, brother. But politics is politics.
Hey, if you got a name like Tony Stewart, I completely understand. We love you, RG5. You know where our loyalty is, but it's probably good for the sport.
So I'm going to run down these stats, and y'all can believe if I kept track of this or if I Googled it. It's up to y'all. But 2024 NHRA Pro Stock Motorcycle Champion. We got race wins. I think you won 10 races. Does that sound right?
10,
all right, man.
Yep, 10
this is accurate. 50-5 round records.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
That was your record for the year?
Yep, 50-5. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That was the win-loss record. And the consecutive wins was 11 consecutive races, including 10 in 2024 and 1 in 2023.
Yep, until Chase knocked me out.
Yeah. And then consecutive.
He has nice hair,
Yeah, he's a good-looking feller,
He's got some swag too. I mean,
it's like
Phillips level, but it's
more like proper swag. Malcolm's more like street swag. There's
flashy.
A difference.
He's flashy.
Consecutive. See where I was at. Consecutive round wins was 46. That was breaking another NHRA record. Fastest racer to win 20 national events. And number one qualifier at Gainesville, Charlotte, the spring race, Richmond, Seattle, U.S. Nationals, Reading, St. Louis, Dallas, Las Vegas in the fall. That's a hell of a year.
Oh, absolutely.
That's last year you had a dream season, and realistically, in a way more competitive waters, I guess you'd say, had another dream season. Really, that's the way I look at it.
I mean, I'll be honest. Before you read those off, I wouldn't. If you'd asked me to guess Gaige's round record, and I would not have thought it would have been that impressive. Just because, trying to keep up with the races, all right, I know you won quite a few as well, especially early on in the season, but I don't know. I would have thought it may have been 45-10 or something. Hey, hats off to you.
It's a lot of racing too, man. You got to look at all the tracks and the miles and the even the flight miles, as Gaige would be flying and stuff. It's still a lot. We all do this stuff and we love it, but there's still times that you get tired, man. You know what I mean? You want to sleep. But
I mean, the man's working his regular.
Got a regular job, and then he's going and racing all weekend, and that kind of leads to another question.
Yeah, go.
So I'm sure you sign a lot of stuff, right? A lot of autographs.
Yeah.
What's the weirdest thing you've had to sign?
I signed a baby once.
All right. That's like some Ricky Bobby shit, man.
Yeah. That was the weirdest thing. I'm like, are you sure you want me to do this? Yeah, right here. I'm like, all right.
Where'd you sign that?
It was right on his
forehead
or whichever. But it was the weirdest thing. I'm like, I felt so uncomfortable doing it.
He was in the signing thing, just like Ricky Bobby. Oh, I'm sorry.
Wow. That's a hell of a good question. I like that one.
like you guys talk about the round wins and all that, right? I mean, when I first started riding for Vance Hines, Andrew used to say I could count how many times, or I can count on two hands how many times you rode a bar bike, and now it's insane. You know, the amount of passes and stuff I've
Yeah.
made.
And there's probably still a lot of people that's made more passes than you. Still,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And but there's a lot of win lights for your passes and records and history being broke. Because speaking of that, Eric Colchester said, "Has any rider ever had better numbers?" I don't think so. I think that he has broke pretty much all the records. Now, you know, we're just 2 years into this deal, so who knows what the future holds, if Gaige will be the guy to have the most championships one day, or what. I mean, it'd be, I'm sure that's something you'd like to do, right? Break all the records. That's what we do,
Absolutely.
being competitive. We want to win. And you're hoping that, Matt's 65 years old, still trying to get 7, and you're right there with him, right? and no, that's just that we want to sit beside the good racers, the bad guys, the one that's bad to the bone. That's what we want to do. That's what drives us. Just like if I race Ben bracket racing, it's about to be a heater. That's just the way it is. And it's kind of what we all expect.
Last time we raced, I won. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know. But what about the other 842 times?
I mean, we don't need to go through that. Yeah, I'm just saying the last time's all I remember.
Y'all see can they see my little name? Like, do they see that? Oh, never mind. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
The 47 time.
Yeah. I know. Hey, I stopped even saying how many I won like a long ass time ago. Like, there's no point. I honestly, I don't remember. I'd have to fucking count. I mean,
the only reason I'm keeping track is I got to go a 50, and then I'm like, forget it. I'm done. I'm going to be selling parts.
y'all hear that, but I don't believe it. So we'll see.
Me neither.
I know, right, Gaige? He's full of shit.
Well, the perk is if you win Pro ET, it probably pays more than all the parts you sell all weekend. So, can't forget that.
By the way, if anybody that's listening has any specific questions, I mean, we got the man in the hot seat, so don't hold back, and we'll let him decide if he wants to answer them.
Paul just now put one out there. Paul Phillips said, any plans to race XDA or Man Cup? Any issues with Vance and Heim's team with racing outside NHRA? Now he comes to grudge races. He's probably going to Gridgemas.
That's the plan. I mean, depends on work here. That's the biggest issue now. But I mean, the XDAs and all that. I mean, I plan to make as many as I can. I mean, I think last year I made 3. I didn't qualify for 1, unfortunately.
Nitrous spot problems, man.
I was in the B field with my buddy Brett Ware, which is the B field champ. But
he also asked if you would sign something for him.
I know, that's why I said that.
Yeah. Oh, I was hoping that what she was going to say when I asked you what the weirdest thing you signed was, right? I was like, man, he might have to not answer this.
I know. Everybody thought that immediately. We just didn't know it was Brett's,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We got Gary Stouffer. He just said champ in the all caps, of course. And we got Mr. Mike Mullaney. He said, gang, what's up, fellas? Everybody's saying can't wait to see you at PRI. I know Dustin's not going. He's going to be knee deep in MPS stuff.
Pray for me.
I am a 50-50 candidate right now because we're getting ready to drive down to Florida in a couple days. So nice. I might see some of y'all at PRI. I might not. And the Shock Wizard also called BS on Dustin quitting after 50.
I never said I was going to quit. I was going to quit chasing championships.
Yeah.
If it's 95 degrees weekend, I might stay home and 3D print some stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Bitch Racing said, Gaige, is it true you guys change a lot of brake rotors? And if so, why?
We used to with the old style design. I think it was a 5-finger design. Now we're to a 6-finger design as far as the actual brake hanger and then the rotor itself, or the carrier. Sorry, not the hanger. Yeah. I mean, now we're at the point now where I think I've changed the rotors twice this season, where before it used to be like almost every other race.
Really?
And now I'm at a bad habit. Now I'm going back to my old grudge way. I just use the front brake. I don't even use the rear brake. And Andrew's always on me, use the rear brake because I don't want to change the rotors. But his new rotor design, the way he's done it, has been really good. I mean, they've worked really good. They don't warp. as bad as they used to. I mean, it's bubbling the paint off the front, or the sticker, I should say, the wrap off the front fender because it's getting so hot.
Yeah.
Holy
So
cow.
it's
I have
just,
seen them glowing before when you're pulling off the track.
Oh yeah. So I mean, it's they used to be kind of an issue, but they're not no more with the new design.
What that going off that question, Gaige, I mean you're right in the middle of it. What's why do so many of these bikes end up in the sand traps? Like what is it that you think or know that you can share?
I think it's just front. I want to say it's front tire. I don't know how everyone's front suspension is. I mean, I've talking with Andrew and Ed. You know, you talk to them about front suspension, and once the front suspension like packs up, it gets rigid. It's kind of like the grudge bikes. You know, the front tire then just skids.
Yeah.
You know, because there's nothing absorbing the. I mean, we all know these tracks aren't smooth as can be on the shutdown. That's usually the roughest area. So I feel like that's the biggest issue. And not only that, I mean, it's just how quick you're on the brakes or whether you decel or, you know, it's just one of those things. I mean, I just think, well, and a lot of the bikes, as far as I know, you know, they all have certain calipers that spread the pads for drag. And I mean, it's just little stuff like that. But I really look at it as however the front suspension setup is and how the suspension packs. I mean, Dustin would probably be from Penske would probably know all about that. You know,
I remember messaging you at Bristol and you were on the brakes and the front tire kind of slid. And I'm like, easy down there. I seen it. I was like, calm down, man. But you do pulse the brakes. Yeah, I've watched you pulse them. You get off and on, try to let them cool off a little bit.
Yeah, I got a bad habit of that. I don't get on them early, and then I get on them hard, and then it's like, oh, a little too much, you know.
Yeah.
Because I don't like to let them decel. I mean, everyone always says, I need to move my on-off switch and all that because I actually pull the clutch in, or no, I hit the kill switch and then I pull the clutch in with my left hand, where I used to take my hand off the front brake and hit the kill switch that way, but I just do it the opposite way now so I can stay on the brake, you know.
Yeah.
A lot sooner.
Funny. That's what Mike Beelan asked. He said they move your kill switch yet.
Yeah.
Everybody's paying attention.
What I know of.
Miss Fires, she said we're late to the party. Y'all are here. That's all that matters. Y'all are all.
I actually do remember seeing you take your right hand off like your first season, I think, and flip it off and then go back to the brake. On one of the onboard deals, you know, that you guys always have, and sometimes you wave at it, you know, trying to have some fun while you're up there, which is pretty cool. The fans probably love that.
Hey, you got to.
I think I was called a casual fan, so I guess that's what I am. Casual fan.
Mr. Zer said if the front don't move, it can't absorb the energy and the wheel ends up off the ground doing nothing.
Yeah, like when they're rigid. I mean, especially the grudge bikes now that has that ultra light deal that's just the inner tubes like that. That's solid. Like I bet there's some, you know, shutdowns that's like, God almighty, it's got to be beat you to death because you're riding on air pressure at that point. Whatever your air is in your front tire is your shock pretty much. And that's good that, you know, you're kind of used to that, which helps you in the bike, the Pro Stock bike deal. When you get them compressed, it's the same thing. So that makes sense.
Chris Garner-Jones, he said, congrats, bub, to you and all involved. I think you've seen that. Sean Hopkins said, did you see racers try to change their riding style when they saw your success? Yeah, I mean, that's a decent question.
We've all seen it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we kind of focused on that last year and kept bringing that up. You know, I feel like quite a few, that was a big topic, you know, especially in media, you know, with Tim Haley and all those guys. I mean, the bike guys, at least, you know, they all wanted to know what I was doing different. But I just feel, I mean, I've done it on my Pro Street bike forever. It's just, you know, you let go of the button or let go of the clutch and you move. I did it, move with the bike to stay with the bike. You know, I never thought it was anything different or nothing. But until I got on these bikes, I mean, you could see it in the data on the track. I mean, on the time slip, you know, just different riding style affects these bikes the way weight moves, you know. The easier you can move weight, the faster it's going to go, type of thing. So
that's a no bar.
Definitely.
That's a big no bar thing because Richard and like Jeremy Teasley, and of course I've seen you do it a million times on your Pro Street and grudge bikes that you ride. Like that was a trait that you just kind of carried over from what you're used to, and it was like, damn, you know, it works, you know. So
just to elaborate a little bit more on that, like I understand what you're saying is in that, like when you go to, like you said, let go of the clutch or the button, whatever, you're kind of going with the bike, right? And so you said you can see it in data. Like, is there times where you've, like, I don't know, missed it, had a dazed and confused Hollywood dreaming, laid on the tree, and just like got behind the bike and you can see?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's been a few passes where I kind of relaxed, I guess, or threw the lever and then like get the little chicken neck type of thing, and you can see it
pro at that.
I was about to say, Ben done that on my bracket bike one time. I was like, "What was you doing? Looking for stars? Like what?" He was at Indy.
Yeah. No, that's I mean, that's good info. And like you said, I feel like we talked about that a lot last year and stuff, but just for the general fan, like all those little things, they add up, and they, 3 little things can add up to 100th or 200s here and there. So it's good info to have.
Yeah, I mean, a perfect example. I mean, Gino Scali rented our bike for the last 6 races, right? And so in Pomona, he ran his career best and went, I believe, 199, which his goal is to go 200, right? Yeah. And Andrew, I mean, he literally told all of us, and Gino, he's like, I didn't change the map. He said, just the way you rode the bike made it pick up almost, a little over a 10th. Wow. So it's just like these bikes are so finicky in like little situations, especially the 60-foot to 330 is like the most critical, and it's like that just goes to show like the riding style. I feel like more on the inline fours plays a bigger toll than the Buells because of torque wise and the weight. It's just it that was kind of like proof in the pudding to all of us. We really didn't believe it, type of thing. I mean, same with Gino. I mean, it was awesome to see him do good, and he did good all season. It's awesome to have him back out there.
Yeah.
And him to run so good as he did. But it's
I noticed the PB right away.
Yeah, so he just corrected some things and got more adjusted to it, and that was the big performance advantage, at the end of the year.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, in Pomona, I mean, hasn't rode a pro side bike in many years and got on the Norbert bike. Did real street, did all that, having fun with stuff, and then he got back on the pro side bike, which makes a little more power than what he used to ride, which is, it's all, like I said, it's awesome to see him out there. I was glad to have him out there with us. I mean, he's an awesome dude. So to see him,
he have any good words of wisdom for you? Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. Delay.
No, he just always told me to keep my head level. That's the biggest thing out here. Don't let all the riffraff get in your head. That was the main thing from Gino for sure.
Gino's a great dude, man. Like, and I was happy to see him go as PB, and he also rattled a lot of racers this year. Like, not meaning to, just Gino, just trying to do his job, really messed them up over there, and he turned some wind lights on that wasn't expected because of the things he done. And I think that's even cooler because he's just out there in Gino land doing his best at what he can do, and then they're just fumbling around, the ball's flying, like it's nuts, and I enjoy that. That's entertainment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, I owe Gino a few steak dinners for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. He put some hits out there, man. I noticed some heat. I seen some heat and some anger, and I'm like, man, that's what this is about, though. Get your heart pumping. Everybody's blood pressure's up a little bit after a lick, and they'll calm down and come back and try it again next time. I like that stuff. That's what drives me. Is if I make a mistake, I want to fix it and be better than I was before that. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. What would you say is probably the biggest disappointment you had this season? What's the biggest moment or win?
Did I lose you guys?
What's that?
Hang on. Did I lose you guys? You can still hear me?
No, you're here.
Oh, we're good. I just asked. I said, what
was your question?
What was probably your biggest disappointment this season? What was your biggest moment aside from winning the championship? Is there a race win that stands out, a round win? And, how about those two questions?
I'll say my biggest race win was probably Dallas.
Yeah.
That was one race I shouldn't have won. It's just luck was on my side all weekend.
I'll be watching, man. Like, I see this stuff. I'm like, man, he is outgunned right now. And somehow he still pulls it off,
Is that when you were California dreaming?
Yeah,
Oh
I
man.
think that was one of the rounds he was
Yep.
California Dreaming. It was, yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
you had a Ben Nightlight
Yep.
for
I think
Hey
sure.
it's
man, it'd be like that
yeah.
sometimes though. You know what I mean? Like you just like I've won races and go, man, I raced like shit today. You know, it just be like that. You know, you gotta take them how you can get them sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you don't have luck, then it's hard to win anything. I mean,
Yeah.
we tell that to our students, you know.
Being used to lecture me, I'm like, I got lucky. He's like, man, you got to stop saying that. I'm like, look, bro, you got to have it.
Well,
You
there's
got to
some,
have it.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Especially in a 8 round, 9 round Pro ET race or something. You're gonna
I
have
get
some
mad at
luck.
myself when I make a mistake and I'll still win. I'm like, Lord, don't do that again. You know what I mean? And I call that luck. That's what it is, you know?
What's some stuff you can talk about for next year? Anything you're allowed to mention? You got anything new already in the works that the team's working on, or anything like that? And if you don't
That
have
sounds
anything, it's not a
G19
big deal.
classified
It
to me.
probably is, but I mean, I don't know. He might tell us they're building a new bike or something for him. I have no clue.
Oh, he ain't getting off that bike.
Um,
Come on.
I mean, as far as I know, yeah, as far as I know, the only thing that as far as I know, the only thing that Andrew and them are working on is like a full billet crank. Um, I'm sure a lot of people know that already. Um, it's just trying to get I would say more modern, I guess, and make it to where the bikes are more reliable. The roller bearing crank is temperamental. If you bang it off the limiter or your tolerances ain't right, piston hit in the head, whatever, it's gonna give.
And that's something y'all flirt with
But
too, is the tolerance. Piston to valve is tight in a pro stock motorcycle.
yeah, for sure. So it's just there's variables there, but as far anything else other than that, I don't know. I'm gonna meet up with everyone down at PRI. I don't know if we're even testing before Gainesville, honestly. It's just I'll be down there Thursday for PRI. My Pro Street bike actually is going to be in the Penske booth
Heck
with
yeah.
Dustin and them.
He put that in the comments.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm gonna have yep, and then I'm gonna have the new Vance Hines Pro Sidewinder on there for. Richard worked very hard on that. Richard's a full-time guy at the shop there, and he came out with that with the guys back there. So we're gonna showcase that. But yeah, as far as the pro stock thing, other than the crankshaft that I know of, that's all I know.
Fair enough. You already said my next question. What about Mr. RG5? How about that? I mean, what'd you make of his year? I mean, we all thought outstanding job, of course, and getting used to it, but what was your take on that, and how did Richard help you throughout the year?
Richard had an awesome year. He finished third. I mean, unfortunately, I wish we finished 1 and 2, kind of like me and Ed did last year. But
Yeah.
he had a tough season. Had little bike issues here and there. Um, this little overall issues. I mean, it's part of racing. You got your ups, you got your downs. But his first whole season, he did really good. He was always on the tree, good. I mean, from what I've seen, and data wise, he always did really good. Ed tunes his bike, Andrew tunes mine, but Ed and Andrew do bounce ideas off each other and go back and forth on data. So it's not like both bikes are actually different. I know a lot of people assume that, but
yeah, they gave Richard a shitty bike, right?
yeah, right. It's just, I mean, it's but all in all, he did really good. Unfortunately, he had to come and try to do what I did the season before. And I feel like he had a lot of pressure on his shoulders, and him coming and joining the team just made me kind of put more pressure on my own shoulders to step it up, So it was kind of I feel like that was a battle for him, just because I had a year already behind me as far as
Right.
winning a championship, doing all that, and then so I had all that kind of off my back. He had a lot more pressure on it, trying to do what I did. And then being my teammate trying to outdo me, it's just there's a lot going on, and then like I said, it just made me push and drive harder to ride better, try to be as consistent as I can. And but all in all, I'm very proud of him. He did awesome all season. He always kept a level head. He went out there, did what he needed to do. I mean, unfortunately, like he he went to 2 final rounds, one in Reading and then the other in Charlotte, and it was just a little issue that cost him the win. He's so close. I wish he would have got it, but he'll get it soon. It's gonna be awesome. We win as a team, we lose as a team. I mean that's the main thing. I feel like a lot of people don't see or understand. It's just it's politics at the end of the day.
Y'all are a team for sure.
Well, I mean, you bring up a really good point. I mean, you coming into the class full time with Vance and Hines last year, nobody knew what to expect per se, and then obviously, as the year got going and unwinding, it was like, holy shit!
It's hard to follow that season. It was hard for Gaige to follow that season.
Exactly, and I mean, that's a really good point. Just thinking back and like, what if per se, like Richard had that last year, and then you had that I mean, you're right. Like the expectations, just whether they were implied or not. I mean, to come in and, do that. I mean, more kudos to Richard than I've already given him, because like you said, that's just hard to join the team and try and track them footsteps regardless,
There's 2 things I know about Richard though. He's very like level-headed and very well-spoken and keeps his composure. But he also beats the shit out of himself inside. Like he's hard on his toughest critic is himself, right?
Oh,
he'll get
sure.
more disappointed himself, and everybody else is still proud of him, but he is just beating himself up. He's just such a good, genuine guy that, but he's also living his dream right now. And I'm super proud of him to be where he's at, right with Gaige and everybody, right. You guys are where you need to be, in my opinion. Today they released a new ECU for dirt bikes, and super cool.
Mm-hmm.
He's big involved in that and the exhaust that you talked about. So there's a lot of cool things that he's getting to be a part of that I think if it wasn't for him, it might not be where it's at. You know what I mean? So,
well, I mean that and that's, I kind of noticed throughout the year too, you could tell that like Richard, I mean, he definitely bought into that team aspect, because like I feel like in some of the comments and stuff, like you'd see Richard comment sometimes, he would even say like, I can't help myself, but this is all I'm gonna say, and he'd drop a comment here and there, but it's like you kind of knew he had your back, and working together and trying to dispel, like you said, some of those conspiracies.
Look, if y'all want something
rumors
said, just let me know. I'll say it for you. Just message it to me. I don't give a shit.
For sure.
If I think it's true, I'll say it. That's just the way it is. I'm not everybody gets a trophy, And
what do you think about that comment? Spider-Man said he thinks you're going to ride a fuel bike.
I don't think I could reach the handlebars and the foot pegs.
So there's 2 things. One thing, Spencer said that you're lucky that there's not a 200-pound weight limit in pro stock motorcycle, which we've heard that shit before, right?
He's full of shit. I can
The other
outride
thing
him in
is-
real street, by the way. If he ever let me ride his nitrous bike, I would put a 730 up.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing
Same.
is, if there's anybody that I know that needs to ride a top fuel bike, it's that knucklehead. Like he enjoys being on fire. Like it's just his thing. So Larry, if you ain't got a rider, we already got one.
We got
ready.
somebody that's not all there that's ready to throw a leg on something. Well, I think he would claim he is, but I think
just don't let him tune it.
Yeah, exactly. And Spencer's even got long hair, which I believe Larry used to have long hair back in the day.
Yeah, he did.
Back in the day.
Larry kind of, Spencer's like a little chunkier version of Larry, when Larry was young. But he's built for it. You know what I mean? Super tall, little bit crazy. Plays with fire. Like it's his thing. I think that's where, honestly, if Top Fuel Motorcycle keeps continuing on, which I hope it does, I think that's where that fool will be one day.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that was awesome seeing Larry and all those guys out there in NHRA this year. I feel like that helped showcase the class again like they used to back in the day. So
yeah, they need to be there.
It grows,
Well, and we talked about that some too when we had Larry and Dave and Mitch on and all, and like that's one thing that I think and we hope will happen here down the road, where you guys, you, Chase, Richard, Gianna, Ryan, like the younger guns coming into pro stock motorcycle, we got to get these young guys into Top Fuel. I mean, Larry said I'm old now. Well, you're still the GOAT, Larry, but I think when we had him on, Mitch was the youngest one, right? He's like the youngest Top Fuel rider. So Yeah, we need some top fuel
And I
riders
said
in
it
the
then,
sport.
and I'll say it now, though. That class is built for these burly, badass MFers, right? Like it ain't for a city boy. It's for the badasses. Like, and we're not built like that generation. There's only a few, and Spencer's one of them that could handle it. Like, see you, little buddy. Good luck. That's it. You know.
For sure. Yeah, let's see what they say. Brett says mullet would be burning off in the pipes. Jazzy J said I'd definitely vote Spencer. Dustin there said dual sidewinders, both blowing flames. Yep. He loves the flames.
Yeah.
Oh man. What else we got going on? Anybody got any more questions for Gaige?
GS asked about the fuel changing. Is
okay.
fuel changing to C35 VP?
Yeah, do you know what fuel y'all will be running next year already?
As far as I know, we're going back to C25, which is what they ran like 10 years ago. You know,
Okay.
which
I run
is,
that.
you know, the same stuff. I run that on my Pro Street bike. So it's
You're the one that told me
to.
to.
So it's just, you know, a lot of guys, I mean, pro side guys, pro side motorcycle guys, all of them are happy to go back to it just because they have so many notes from it. You know, it's just, so as far as I know, it's C25 at the moment. Can it change? Yeah. I mean, that's just what I was told for now.
That's going to be a heavy reset button kind of on the class a little bit. Everybody's going to have to step back and learn everything a little bit again. Like you said, though, some people have a lot of notes. You know, I'm sure Andrew's got notes, and Steve Johnson's probably got notes, and Matt's got notes. So it'll be all right. But maybe there'll probably be a little bit more testing before the spring race, I'm sure.
Yeah, and then you probably saw that comment. Man, I don't know how to pronounce the name. I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher it. I know, but is it Kahia? How do you say that? I'm sorry. But they said I'm not going to throw cones at him next year. Mr. Woods. Anybody know how to say the name correctly?
I always thought it was Kahea, but I could be wrong.
How?
I lost you. What?
He's asking you how to pronounce Kahea.
Was that
Woods.
Kahea?
Yeah, that's what I
Kahea? All right,
Kahea.
there we go.
Yeah.
Kahea. That makes more sense.
Kahea Woods.
Yeah.
He said he's not throwing cones at you next year.
From Vegas. Yeah, he made his debut this year in Vegas. You know, him and the Janik family. You know, they got Joey D's old bike. So you know, it's cool to see that back out there. But yeah,
cracking off them double O's out there.
He couldn't beat me. So he just trying to throw cones at me.
Yeah.
Hey, that's
cool
a tactic.
I used to bracket race with him back in the day.
Awesome.
And I could tell he's a bracket racer by his reaction times. He's out there killing it.
Yeah, and then in the finals too? What was it? Clayton threw down a double O on you first round at the final race.
Let's talk about that. I think that was probably the most nerve-wracking round for Gaige in the entire 2 years of racing pro stock motorcycle. You're sitting beside the bike that you learn on, and you got, basically friends that's family tuning that bike. Everything that got you there could have stopped what you were trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, the worst part was Saturday, right? I'm down at the finish line. They crowned me champion. And, I'm counting on my fingers and my toes. I'm like, I need one more point. They're like, no, you won the championship. I'm like, no, I don't think so. They had the camera on me, and Alan Reinhardt's like, why aren't you excited? I'm like, I didn't win it yet. He's like, no, you got it. And then one of the guys is like, yeah, he didn't win it yet. He needs one more point, all because Angie out-qualified me. So,
so they were pronouncing you the winner, and you hadn't even won yet?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they pronounced me as a winner. They interviewed Andrew on the start line. They did all that stuff. And then, it wasn't official. It was by 1 point. This is one of those things that they overlooked. I mean, I would have probably overlooked it too in the moment. It was just, so much stuff going on with the guys in the tower, so you can't blame them. Yeah. But, so all day long after they announced it, people are, as I'm walking through the pits, going through the staging lanes to watch my girlfriend's dad qualify in the funny car and all that stuff. And everyone's like, oh, congrats. I'm like, oh, man, this is going to bite me in the butt tomorrow. Watch.
Oh, man. And then
in their defense, though, they're so used to you being number 1, number 2 qualifier that they didn't expect you to be number 3 qualifier. I think that's what you was, wasn't you? That race.
Yep. Yeah, it was Matt, Angie, and then me.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So, but I was, obviously everyone knows I'm good friends with Stouffer and all of them, and Clayton Howe. I used to bracket race with him a lot in Bakersfield. So, you know, we were in the lanes for first round, and I looked at Gary. I said, it's really gonna suck if the bike I made my debut on takes my championship away right here. So it's just I was
I'm sure
definitely
Gary
nervous.
was
I mean,
just motivational.
Oh yeah, he was just like, "Oh, don't worry about it. You'll be fine." He's like, "But if you do lose, you ain't gonna hear the last of it."
I was gonna say, I know
that's
Gary
what friends do, man.
For sure.
But it was nerve wracking.
Oh, I can only imagine, for sure. And to come down to the final race, So, yeah, that's a lot going on. The ET gangster, Mr. Santine, said a few times this year some random spectators and car racers came to me talking about Pro Stock Motorcycle. When I'd tell them that Gaige is considerably quicker and faster without bars and on street tires, they'd look at me like I'm speaking foreign languages. So Jess says, will Pro Stock Motorcycle ever eventually move closer to a Pro Street style class?
Never. No, I don't think so. I think it's exactly what it's intended to be. Honest opinion.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't personally see that move either, like happening. I'm not sure what would have to take place to have that happen.
It would be the same thing as Pro Stock car going to like a radio car type format. It's not happening. Like it's just they are what they are. They're exactly the way they were designed to be, in my opinion. Now, I'm not saying it wouldn't be a bad idea to maybe one day in the future add like a modern, class, but Pro Stock Motorcycle is not going to change.
Yeah, it's a good question to ask. I mean, look, we're all used to Pro Street, and we obviously think it's exciting. Gaige has that experience as well. I mean, I would love to see those style bikes out on the big stage personally, especially with having. I don't know. I mean, I guess the last few years, the new Hayabusa bodywork and stuff that brings it closer to something. But I don't know. I still. I'd like to see that personally, but I don't think it'll happen either. Not anytime soon.
No.
I would like to see, Pro Stock Motorcycle be displayed, but I have a love for, not Pro Street Motorcycle be displayed. I have a love for Pro Stock Motorcycle. I think that it's more challenging. Like, well, Gaige could probably double verify this, but if he makes a mistake on his nitrous Busa, like tucking or whatever, that bike gives two fucks. Like, it does not care. Where if he does that on his Pro Stock bike, it's over. It just now killed it. I just think that it's more finesse and more. Like I could never ride a Pro Stock bike because my love handles would destroy the pass. Like it would. I just feel like that it's its own thing, and I do think, now that they're all running Gen 2s, like they're not. Back in the day, they would just go up there and kind of get wheel speed up and just let it annihilate the tire and get going. And now you can actually hear especially on Gaige and Richard's bike when they leave, you can hear the clutch. Like you can hear the bike like work the clutch. And it's like, man, I guess I have an ear for that stuff. And I really enjoy watching them do what they're intended to do. And I still think, and I'll say it over and over, that the chassis is the limiting factor of how fast you guys can go. If you guys can move weight, tune the clutch differently, find more power, the end of the day, the only thing that can stop the bikes from 60 footing or whatever is chassis. It's going to be blowing the tire off. And I told people that, Gaige and them has to go 104 to win. And that's a lot more risky than going 106 because they can go out there and blow the tire off where if you're 106, it's going to stick every time and then back half, And but that they're wanting us to go as fast as they can go, so they just got to play with it. If they could find a way to 103 every time, they would have done it. But we've seen Gaige this year go 9s because it blew the tire off and he just coast down the racetrack, and that's because they have to go past to the 60.
Q1 at Pomona.
Yeah, and
that right there would have locked up the championship on Saturday if we didn't knock the tire. Me and Andrew both, we go in there like, we're laying one down.
Yeah, but the chassis and the tire to the track surface and where your weight's at, it just said, nah, boss, this ain't happening. That's the one thing that's got a chokehold on you is the chassis. You got to figure out a way to, push it and tune around the limiting factor, which is the chassis. Those bikes could probably go faster if they were longer, but that's not what Pro Stock motorcycle is. Is it still 70 inches? Is that what the wheelbase has? It's been for as long as I can remember, and that's just it. Like here's what you got. Good luck, and I feel like that. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, look at Steve Johnson's bike, for instance. I think his bike's been the same for the longest. Still carburetors, MC4 MSD. I mean, and he's still very competitive.
Yeah, the last race he was killing it. Yeah. Super proud of Steve.
That race with him and Matt was insanely close. What was it, like a couple inches or something?
Yeah. 1 thou. I mean, that's just look, man. If y'all don't like watching that, like even when Gaige raced Matt, like you could see Gaige was out, and then here come the rail. Like, and it's like, oh, it's gonna squeeze through, and nope. But it was still a great race. You know what I mean? Like.
I do think that is probably important talking about the Pro Street, Pro Stock motorcycle thing. Like, you wouldn't have as many
side-by-side races because there's too much shit that happens.
Yeah,
exactly. You would, I mean, we've watched I've watched that Pro Street bike yank him around when it ain't got enough wheel speed and the nitrous. It's like, bro, like that thing is violent, and you would have a turbo bike, smooth down through there, and then you'd have this one guy coasting, and the fans would be like, well, that was lame. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just feel like it is what it's supposed to be. And I guess it's because I'm just the old school, like John Myers and George Bryce and all that stuff back in the day with Dave Schultz. And I just think it's what it's supposed to be. And I think it wouldn't be here still if it wasn't for Vance and Hines. That's just how I feel. I think that they have done all they could to keep that, that class alive, because it's what they are. I mean, that's Vance and Hines. If you think about them, if you don't think a Pro Stock motorcycle, there's something wrong with you, and it's awesome. I think it's more interesting now than it has been in years. Thanks, Gaige, and all the new riders, Richard, Chase, Malcolm out there. Like, I think it's not the same thing over and over. I still wouldn't care to see Eddie get that win that he needs, but
I still can't believe that. But that's all right. I remember asking him. I thought I called it. I told so many people that at that last race last year, I was like, well, Gaige is going to win the championship and Eddie's going to win the last race and get his 50th. And
Gaige said no mercy, boss.
Yeah.
Hell no.
I'd have disconnected a coil on your bike. I'd have been like, not so fast, youngin. I've been like, good luck with that.
No, we were in the trailer for that, and I asked Ed, so what do you want me to do? He said, go out there and race. He said, if you give it to me, I don't want it. I said, hey.
Yeah, that's what he told me. I remember asking him too. I was like, how come you didn't win that last race? He's like, I didn't want to win it unless I earned it. And I was like,
and all you can say about that is respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no
that's
doubt.
Awesome. He wanted to F Gaige straight up on his own. Like, he didn't need no give me, and I think that's cool.
Yeah, I was going to say that's so cool. Somebody who has 49 race wins, and how many does Eddie have? 2 or 3 championships? 4? How many does he have? 4. Yeah, he has 4. Andrew has 6.
Andrew has 6.
Yeah, and it's like to have somebody like that. That 50 is just a nice. Well, we all know Dustin's trying to get 50 championships, and that 50th win for Eddie would have been something else. So
yeah, I'm gonna go to war for that 5-0. When I get there, I'm good, but I'm gonna do all I can to get there. I want to get there as quick as possible. You know what I mean? That way, I'm done. But
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Oh man,
he had a great career in Pro Stock motorcycle, and he's forever going to be a legend. Him and Andrew too. So. It's cool.
Well, I'm like you. I'd say there's a possibility we see him make an appearance.
He'd have like a throwback, like a veterans Pro Stock race or something, like a little exhibition thing. It'd be cool.
Yeah, they should for the Mission Challenge. They should split it up next year. I don't even know how that exactly works, but they should have the old guys and the young guns.
Yeah. Have some fun with it.
I've been trying to get Ed and Andrew out to XDA. I told Andrew he put his leathers on, he could throw a leg over my Pro Street bike.
Hell yeah. That thing's angry, man. That's an angry motorcycle.
What was the response to that?
I think Ed and Andrew both are, very interested in the 460 deal.
I would love to see them do that.
Yeah. But I think this year you guys might see them out there, they're definitely but they want to get out there. I mean, obviously all the guys at XDA and all that are big supporters of Vance Hines for the head work and all the little products they make. So
Yeah.
they just want to get out there and show their face and
some public relations out there.
Yeah, I don't think they've really ever been out to something like that. I mean, I know Ed has, from his past
back in the day. Yeah,
but Andrew's always watching it. Half the time before I get back from a pass, he's already texting me, what happened this, what'd you do here, blah, blah, blah. So
that's cool.
he's watching.
Hell yeah, that's cool.
That's awesome. If anybody has any more questions, lay them on us because we're gonna wrap this up soon. Gaige is taking his night away, where he's got to get some sleep for work. He's got that job thing. We are going to give away a Gen 2 clutch. If you have any, how do y'all want to do this? Feel free to drop us comments too. We want to get Gaige involved. We can have Gaige pick the amount of time on the random wheel. We can have him pick
how many shuffles
we do. We generally do it 3 times for Dale.
We can have a sudden death where we spin and get 2 people and then put them together and spin them by themselves.
Yeah. Drop us a comment how you want, or we can just spin the wheel and let it rip and somebody wins a MTC Gen 2 clutch.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Drop us some comments. Did we miss anything? Mr. Proctor, what's up, Shane? Good to see you. Listen, he said Pro Street and Top Fuel would be great on the big stage. Yep. We got, did I miss anybody else? Sorry if we missed you earlier in comments. James Henson, what are Gaige's goals for next year? That is a good one.
You got to do it for Dale, bro.
That's right. Are we talking Pro Street or Pro Stock Motorcycle? Nah. I want to go in the 630s. Yeah, I want to go in the 630s on my bike. I've been 641. And then Pro Stock Motorcycle, I just I want to keep a level head. I mean, that's my biggest goal. I want to say it came easy. To a lot of people, it kind of seemed that way. But I got to stay earth, I guess. To stay level headed and just have fun with it. I mean, that's my biggest goal, is to keep having fun with it. I mean, I love racing, no matter what it is. It could be RC car racing. I've done that. I've done go-kart racing. I've done, racing in the sand dunes when I live in California, up and down the hill. It's just, I'm just a competitive person. So my main thing is just to go out there and keep being a competitive person and try to get number 3.
Do it for Dale. So I got to point out.
Go ahead.
Nope. I don't know if people realize.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't if people realize how difficult it is to do what you've done, especially this year. The consistency on the tree, except a little bit of California daydreaming we've had. But for the most part, 95% of the season, the tree has been solid. The riding's been solid. Now, I can't see the data, so I don't know if you're flawing here or there. But overall performance, 9.5 out of 10. Like, I'm a bracket racer, and I think that might be what kind of helps you a little bit, is just doing the same thing every time. The repetitiveness of it helps you on the tree game and all that stuff. But I've been doing, the bracket thing basically forever, and it's hard to be 30 or better every single pass on the tree. And you go up there, on the biggest stage, people everywhere, waving at a camera, it's on your handlebars, and still popping them off, doing your job. Man, that's difficult, and you're doing a damn good job at it. And I'm not trying to blow Gaige. I'm just saying, like, I see it. I see what he's doing. I know how hard it is. And he's a machine. Like, it's just that simple. And everybody racing the class knows that he's a machine.
Well, and everybody's stepped up, too. I mean, you got Chase and Richard. And,
yes.
I mean, like you said, Clayton Howe, he just pops out, and he knows he's 009 first round on you in Pomona. I mean, like, everybody – I feel like that's one thing that has definitely changed in pro stock motorcycle, and that just might be me being a casual observer. But I don't feel like you used to see those types of reactions. It's 50s, 70s. They used to be pretty solid and cut it, but if you have those now, you probably ain't gonna get it done with all these young whippersnappers up there snatching the tree down every time. I mean, I think we even commented about how Chase had kind of maybe not lacked or slacked.
They just tuned the clutch back a little
just
bit.
dialed it back a hair because he was flirting. So consistent, insanely consistent, but still flirting with it a little bit much. So, anyways,
Yeah.
let's see here. All right, let's give away this clutch. Let's see. Tiffany said Gaige can sign the baby of the winner. The clutch. I don't think they're worried about that.
The wheel spin.
Yeah. And then let's see. We had a comment on GT Tonglet jumping on the top fuel. If you got any thoughts on that, and then your boy Jay said that your goal should be 12 race wins and another championship.
Records are meant to be broken, man.
And then Logan Matthias said 5 shuffles because that's how many dollars I have left in my pocketbook after messaging Dustin all week.
Sorry, bro. I saved you some dollars, thankfully.
All right, how about this? Unless Gaige has any thoughts, we'll do what the ET gangster said, and we'll set it up for a 40-second spin for 40s. How about that?
All right.
Sounds good.
And we're just going to spin it once, I reckon.
Yeah.
Do you want to do any shuffles, Gaige? How about that, Gaige? You call how many times we're going to shuffle it.
How many shuffles? We'll do 2 shuffles.
2 shuffles.
One
2
per championship.
shuffles for there we go. All right, let's see if I can screw this up. Share my screen. Share this window. Is this right?
It's coming up. Oh, God,
Yeah.
There we go. I hate it when it does that scary movie thing.
All right, everybody can see this. Everybody's commenting. All right, so we're going to shuffle it twice for 2 championships. We go 1. Y'all saw the names change. 2. There's 2 shuffles, and let's see. I already changed it to 40s.
And then...
I can't see it because the sharing. Is that it?
Yeah, right there. Yep.
All right. Yep, 40.
Okay.
We set it at 40 for the ET gangster. All right, y'all ready? The winner will get a Gen 2 MTC clutch. Thank you, MTC Engineering. Here we go.
I'm a fan of those clutches. They're my favorite.
Yeah.
If Spencer could learn how to tune nitrous around his, they would go faster. He's like, I just need to spray it more to blow through it. I'm like, brother, you're going to kill Bud. Stop.
No, it'll work, Dustin. Don't be telling him that.
No, it's not, man. I'm like, will you stop? He's like, I hate it. I'm like, you got to quit. This ain't no slide.
All right, let's see.
I can't really see the names to guess.
I can.
Okay.
Let's see here. I can see.
Dang, is John Markham going to win it? He's just now messaging me about buying one.
It's not going to be him.
It's not? The one right after?
It might be Big Red.
Big Red?
Could be Adam Sharan.
It's going to.
Big Red.
Big Red. Cool.
Yes.
All right.
He'll be fired up.
He will be pumped. Congratulations, David Bashara. Man, Jeff said that was the quickest 40 seconds ever. It seemed like it took forever. Nanu said, "What's up, superstar?" There we go, Mr. Mahoney. I still want to. Can we? I know we've asked you before, but can we put that on some new Red Hill shirts? Gaige is surgical with that bitch.
Yeah,
man, that's a classic Mahoney.
Man, I wish I had that video. We could share it somehow. I think it was a race, and he won or whatever, and they come to the winner's circle, and he was like, "I went to Shoney's and had me a big breakfast, and I'm just surgical with this bitch," and I lost it. It was just. It's the best thing ever. I was like, man.
One of the best quotes ever after winning a race on how it's surgical with that bitch. That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome.
No doubt.
All right. Do we have anything else for Gaige tonight? He's got to get to bed. He's got to go to work in the morning, like pretty much all of us, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's all we got?
I think that's it, man.
All right. Well, as always, thank you, Mr. Hollywood. We really appreciate it, brother, for you jumping on, taking time out of your schedule.
Forgot about us little guys. He's still thinks about us.
For sure. Logan said, "Send me those damn logo files." Man, I sent them to you, so I will resend them. Okay.
Check your spam folder.
Yeah, check your spam. All right, y'all. We appreciate you. Thank you, Gaige.
Yes,
if y'all have any questions, reach out, support Gaige. Go to his website. I'm sure he'll have some new shirts up soon. He'll probably let me know about those. Go support Gaige and buy some stuff from his website. It's herreraracing.com, right?
Well, yeah, appreciate
it. I should know, but I'm just verifying. That's it, right?
Hey,
that's it.
Can't catch me at the 60-foot shirt is right now my Lucky Sunday shirt for the racetrack. I'm just saying.
And I need to get more of those.
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure. All right, everybody. Thank y'all for sticking with us. We appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.